Welcome everyone to Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross, where we are your resource for education, connections, collaborations to support you on your wellness journey. And I would like to start by thanking our sponsor, Tineke. Did I pronounce that right, Tineke?
Yeah, Tineke.
Tineke Rensen, for it's these sponsored appearances that make Mindful Mondays possible. Tineke transitioned from driven businesswoman to embracing her gift of energizing water into a coherent state, influencing nearby water molecules, including those in the body. And this coherence supports healing, better decision-making, and enriched personal and business strategies. Water has always been central to Tineke's life, from kayaking wild rivers to teaching natural swimming. She now guides clients through energized water sessions, which many feel enhance body awareness and bring fresh perspectives, helping them unlock new potential to overcome personal or business plateaus. So please welcome our guest, Tineke Rensen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, hello, Laura.
Hey.
Thank you for this beautiful introduction and your beautiful show reel to begin with. Wow.
Thank you.
Really nice, all these quotes. I love them.
Yeah, I think you and I have some of those connections too, because I've always been a water person, and you and I were just like mentioning the dolphins and stuff. So,
Yes.
But yes, you definitely have a most different, a refreshing and a different perspective that I was not aware of with water. And we are going to dive all into that. But before we do, can you tell us, why did you transition from a driven businesswoman to embracing your gifts?
Ha! I love the question. Actually, I got more insight on that last evening. Why I decided to change is because it wasn't working anymore. And I did not want to roll up my sleeves once more and work hard and gather myself together. And this was after COVID. And I've been in January, I'm in business for 35 years. So this was probably the eighth or ninth worldwide crisis I had in all these years. And every time I got out of a crisis, and it somehow changed my business. Now it didn't change my business, it changed me. Things didn't work anymore the way they were working. And I don't know, I felt, you know what? If it's not working, I don't know, tell me. I don't know. I'm going to give up. And that was very, very difficult for me to do because I was used to working hard and getting results, and not working and playing in my garden or reading a book or watching a movie was like, oh, I need to do something. I need to do something. But I was waiting for something to come up, and that took a long time. It took more than 2 years. So that wasn't easy. I did try other businesses in the meantime. They didn't work either. And I thought, I'm not even going to pursue. It should go easy. It should go with flow, or it's not meant to be. I really was there that I never ever want to work hard anymore. That was the biggest thing. And yeah, I finally found my calling with the water and health and vitality. So yeah, it's been a ride.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I think something a lot of people struggle with. We feel like we get stuck, or we're working to make ends meet, but we're not truly happy. And you mentioned several crises, so I don't know if it was like burnout, or it was more of a kind of an awakening that you weren't happy what you're doing, or were you kind of like struggling to like, oh my gosh, I have to start all over again?
Yeah, no, it's really like the world crises, like the 9/11, the banking crisis, and there were quite a few, and they impact the whole world. So they impact the decision making of people and the decision making of business owners and how the money flows in the world. Well, when there is a global crisis, everybody sits on their money. Nobody makes decisions. Everybody's going to postpone or wait or cut down on budgets. And that is what I mean. And I've had quite a few of those global crises in the 35 years. Well, at the time at COVID, it was 32 years maybe. And I always got out better, and always I found a smart way to maneuver, and my business expanded. But it I didn't feel like it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You just
no, I
kind of weren't
never
feeling it.
had a burnout. I mean, I've I had already my business before I got kids, and yeah, that could have been a reason for a burnout. Being a mom, we had a pony, so I need to take them to the stables every day, 6 days a week, running my business, bringing them to school, and I wasn't working from home. So yeah, it was quite something. But I was a lot younger, and I've always been, yeah, I've been able to manage my energy pretty well. And whenever I felt like, oh, now I'm starting to lose it, I'm forgetting things, I'm getting too tired, I took a step back. So I've always listened to my body, and I mean, I love to listen to my mind, and I shouldn't. And I'm not doing that so much anymore. But in the times it really was vital, I did listen to my body. So I've never had a burnout. No.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned the energy of your body, and that brings up the, because you actually have a very unique connection with water. You actually
Yeah.
found out that you could energize water. How did you find that out?
Oh, that's quite a story. This was after I've tried a lot of things. I eliminated my business. I had to let go of my office. I had to let go of my team. And I tried a few other businesses. And then I went on a retreat with my coach to Mexico. And I really set the intention. After this retreat, I want to know what is going to happen. I need a new business model. And I really, really now, please tell me, yeah, anything. But this time, it's the last time, and it should work. And this was in Mexico. And when I was young, I was a tour guide in Mexico. I took people snorkeling, diving, and the coral reef at that time. And I was 25. I was very young. It was amazing. It was like being in a fairy tale on the water. All these beautiful fish floating. So that's also a beautiful sensation. Um, and wherever you looked, you saw colors, you saw fish, flocks and flocks of fish. And it was, at the time when I was 25, it was the most beautiful experience I had ever witnessed. So it was profound. And now, 35 years later, I got back. And I was all excited, like, oh yeah, we go to the coral reef. And I plunged in the water, and I started crying. You know, my face was wet, so nobody noticed. But the colors, it was like grayish, a bit white, very few fish. Every now and then, I could see like a purple a plant waving. Nowhere near what it looked like. And I thought, this is that coral. And I mean, I've seen it on photos, and I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it on movies, but I hadn't witnessed and experienced it myself. And it was really sad. Um, and then I had an epiphany moment. I love facts. And because I have been in the water for so long, all these things started to come to me. I know about Masaru Emoto, and he says water has memory, um, and intelligence. And I thought, well, water, if you have memory, you should know what it looked like here 35 years ago, right?
Right.
Um, I know from my whitewater kayaking business that whenever you take people on the water, and especially on lakes or oceans, whenever thunder comes, you really need to be off the water, because when the lightning strikes, it's electricity. It just travels and travels and travels, because water has very little resistance. So I thought, but electricity is energy. So if water has very few resistance, it could also transport my energy. I'm a Reiki healer.
Mm-hmm.
I never practiced it in my business, but I used it for myself and for my kids at home. Um, and nature has a self-restoring capacity. Yeah? That's also something that I knew. So I out of the blue, I started closing my eyes, like this, pouring my hands out in the water, and started to talk with my mind to the water, like, hey, I see you, but I have faith in you, I have trust in you, and I know you're capable of doing so much. I was really speaking to with my mouth closed. I was underwater.
Right.
Um, and all of a sudden I opened my eyes and I was amazed by what I saw. The fish that weren't there before, they were all gathering around me. And I was like, okay, this is strange. This is really strange. These are wild animals. What are they doing here? There is something happening here. And I had both my hands up like this, and three fish, one here, one there, one there. They were like nearly sucking my hands, and they feel my energy. And not only here, they feel that this is the source because that's why they were here, but they were all around me, and I was like, whoa, this is overwhelming, and it I got frightened, to be honest. I was like, it can't be me, this is too much, this is woo woo. uh,
Everybody likes
uh
to throw that term around, woo woo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I swam away. And then I grabbed myself together and said, hey, come on, you've paddled Colorado River. You've jumped 12 meter. I don't know how many feet that is, but it's high.
Uh-huh.
Waterfalls. You climbed mountains. Come on. This is just water and energy. And I got curious. So I started doing it again. And the same happened. And then it became fun. I thought, okay, now let's do it again. So I swam to another place. I did the same, and the same happened again. So then I started to realize, like, hey, I can really energize water. But then I thought, okay, those are fish, Okay, animals, they are more, that's their way of communicating. I'm not saying them, I wanted to say they're more sensitive. We are too, but because we listen to the mind, we cannot communicate in this language anymore like animals can. But we could, but that's maybe for later. We could when
Right.
we were in our mum's womb. We could speak the language of resonance. We could speak the language of nature. We could communicate with the water, through the water, talk to our mum, feel our mum's emotions. But as soon as we started to speak, we lost that capacity. Um, so then I thought, okay, but I need more proof. Maybe this is a coincidence. If I am going to advocate that I can energize water, I need to be more convinced myself, because this is just a story, and who's going to believe me? And people do.
Right.
That's really beautiful. They do. So I researched Veda Austin. She's a water crystallographer from New Zealand, and she does experiments with putting water in small petri dishes, and she freezes it. And the water speaks to her. It shows images. So I thought, okay, if I can energize water, it should freeze in a different pattern than the normal tap water. So I put tap water in a petri dish. I froze it. Then I put tap water in a glass container, because glass is always the best. Because it's nature, glass. There's no plastic. It's not colors, so it's not affecting the water in it. I put my hands on top of the water. I energized it, and I put that in the freezer as well. And on my website, on the homepage, you can see the difference between the two. And the more energy water has, the more beautiful it freezes in the patterns. And yeah, there were fern patterns, and fern patterns show there's a lot of alive water. Usually it looks like that when it comes from the source in nature. So yeah, then I was convinced, I can energize water. And then my coach said, okay, that's nice, Tineke. Now, what are you going to do? She said, you have to take people with you in the water. I said, yeah, so where, how, what? But when you're on course and you're in the right direction and you ask a question, the answers come. So the next morning I woke up and I thought, well, it would be nice to have a hot tub in my garden and I can start practicing. So I looked it up, and at the time I had been spending all my savings. I had very little money in the bank, and a hot tub was 5,000-6,000 euros. It's like nearly the equivalent in dollars. Well, no, we're not going to do that. But then I said, you know what? If I make this money in 2 days out of nowhere, it was 500 euros, I'll buy it. And it was there out of nothing. So I bought it, I put it in my garden, and I started experimenting with people. I started inviting them. I had them pay 100 euro, $100, very little, but just to experience. And that's how it started. Then I had a retreat in Bali, and it starts to, then I took an interim position to manage a water sports center in the summer. So I haven't been able to do much, but now I've been traveling for 2 months near the water, playing in the water. And now it's really growing on me.
Yeah. And so there's so many things that you mentioned in there. And I have to say, I've seen that before, where people, like, if you express like anger or something at the water and stuff, and then freeze it, it gets a totally different pattern because it actually picks up, like you said, off that energy. And then it also reminds me, happened to be on Facebook. I actually saw a picture of Norway of these ice roses all across the frozen water, and they were just beautiful. I'm
Wow.
like,
Oh, you have
I've
to
just,
show me.
yeah, I'll have to show you. It's never seen that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think it'd be formed, but I mean, they're all across the lake, and they're like roses. They're like frozen roses. They just form. So that's just,
Yeah, the energy in Norway is quite different because it has a lot of trees. It's there's not so much cars. There's not so much population as there is in my country, for example. We're a very dense populated country. So the energy is totally different in that country. So I can imagine it really looks beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. So I'd imagine that goes into play too when you are putting together your retreats and picking out certain places, because you have better energy, obviously, in certain
No,
places.
Norway is yeah. I am connecting with someone, and she has a beach house in Norway on the beach, and it is the intention to go and start doing a retreat there. But then I didn't have this knowledge that you just told me. So yeah, and
I
I
will,
connected.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will share that with you when we're done. But maybe you can explain a little bit, what is our connection with water?
Well, we all are connected with water, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. It's a fact, because 70% of your body is water. It's in your eyes, it's in your veins, it's in your blood. Most of it is in your blood, but it's in every organ. So we are water, but not only us, and we can't survive without water. Everything in nature is the same. It is water, and it can't survive without water. Now, when your mom and dad were playing, and all of a sudden you were conceived, there were two cells, but a water molecule, an egg cell, and one sperm cell. And the sperm cell won the race. They merged together, but both cells had water in them, because every cell has water in them. They accumulated more cells until you become a fetus. And you're in this bubble of water in your mom's womb. Now, when you're 16 weeks old, your hearing is ready, so you can start hearing, and you hear the heartbeat, but you also hear the water gurgling, something like that. And that is how you start communicating. That is how you sense through the water. You sense your mom's emotions through the water. You hear the sounds out of your mom's body. and until you're born, that is what you're used to. You're in water. All of a sudden, you're exposed. You're out that safe bubble.
Mhm.
But you communicate. Okay, all of a sudden you have sound, and you start to scream, and people start responding to that. And therefore, the way you have been communicating through the water, through the resonance, vibrational language, or the frequency language, it doesn't work anymore, because no, your parents don't speak that language.
Right. You're right. Everything just changed. Now all you hear is a bunch of voices and all kinds of strange noises that you didn't hear probably
Yeah,
before.
yeah, but we can reconnect with that. So we can tune into our body and speak that language. And through our body, the water molecules in our body, they vibrate with all the water in the world. They're all one. And the air here around me contains water. I breathe air, but there is water gas
The moisture.
inside.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So that is how we are all connected, through the water that communicates. Just, I don't know if you're aware, but in nature, all plants are connected through fungi threads,
Mhm.
and that is how, in the soil, and that is how they speak. They warn each other if a predator is on its way. They warn each other where the water is. So it's all connected, but also through the water molecules in the air. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense. Once you explain it and break it down, it makes a lot of sense. It's just not something that we're ever really taught or we ever think about. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know
This all came to me, and it's makes so much sense. Yeah.
yeah. And I know we have a lot more to share because you have a lot of interesting facts about water and why showers energize us and more. But we do need to take a break from a word from our wonderful sponsor that we have with us here, and we will be right back.
Reclaim your connection with all knowledge so you can manifest and create whatever you desire. Become limitless. Listen to your inner voice. Join my retreat in Bali, where I help you reconnect with the water's energies and its powers.
Look inside, see the light, let it shine. The world reflects what you hold in your mind. Every breath, every step, a brand new start. The beauty of life is born in your heart. We're more than we know, more than what we've been. Unlock the door to the mirror within. The love you seek, the freedom you crave. It's all within you, wave after wave. Wave after wave. Throw the mask, let go of the fear. The path becomes clear when the heart's sincere. No more running from who I am. I'm a piece of the earth, the sky, the land.
You will reconnect with the language of resonance. And you connect with everything and everybody around you, where all the answers just are. So you can embrace everything you already are and everything that has been waiting for you for so long. The water's energy is your guide. It has been from the day you were conceived. Join us and play. Find everything you've been yearning for. You are so worth it.
You wave after wave.
So first of all, I have to say I can see why you love doing retreats there. It looks absolutely peaceful, beautiful. The food is even such vibrant colors besides the culture. I can see why you choose Bali as one of your places to do retreats.
Yeah, and there's more. You know, it's also the culture. It's a very spiritual country. If you're familiar with ley lines, the energy lines that are crossing through the earth, in Bali there's a few that cross. So and we're at this crossing point, the city or the village that is where I have my location. I rented a huge villa where we do the retreat. So you can feel a different energy in Bali, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that from a number of people, especially people that like to do meditation retreats and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why, because the line's crossing there.
Yeah.
So what are some interesting facts about water? Because I know you have lots of them that you'd like to share with us.
Well, it's intelligent because it contains all wisdom of the universe, of the earth, because it's been there from day one, billions of years when our universe somehow the Big Bang theory or whatever it started. Water was part of it. Billions of years. All life came through water. Um, and because water remembers everything, it has memory, it knows everything that there is to know on our planet, because it also can tap in of your knowledge in your body, my knowledge, but also Einstein's knowledge, or you name anybody. That knowledge water can tap into because it's been that person, because it's been within that person and it's been connected with that person. But it's also creative. It cannot speak our language, but it speaks through the freezing patterns. That is how it speaks. So what also happened when I wanted proof for my theory that I can energize water, I asked water. I said, I really would like to know if this is the way for me to go. And I just made photos with my iPhone. So I zoomed in and I saw a coin and I saw a pen in the freezing pattern. And this is how water speaks. And I was like, okay, wow. So there's money in me communicating about water. And I was there. I was thrilled that it can do that. And that it's chosen me as well, because I heard it doesn't do that to everybody. Apparently, I don't know. I
Right.
haven't met people who tried.
Is that why you refer to it as liquid gold healing?
Yes, because it is liquid gold, because it has all the knowledge, and also because it can change. My energized water changes the vibration in your water molecules in your body, and that gives different possibilities. So it's you can do you can do any healing, and they all probably work. For me, this is what I like. And besides the fact that it has all these capacities, we just need it to survive. uh,
Right.
it's as simple as that.
Now, I know there's a difference between tap water and energized water, but
Hmm.
yet we will feel energized, or at least I do, when we come out of the shower. A lot of people say they have to have their cup of coffee. Well, for me in the morning, that shower is like my cup of coffee because I don't drink coffee. But
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I'm dragging if I don't have that shower. Why is that?
Well, first of all, the coffee is an addiction, so that is why they feel good. That's the body. It's used to it. They would also feel good after having the shower, for sure, 100%. It's just their addiction speaking that they need the coffee. But why do you feel so good? Because the water that comes through the shower has not the energy of your water molecules. So you say things to you day in, day out. You do things to your body day in, day out that your body doesn't like. And it's a lot of this is unaware and a lot of this is subconscious. But I often say to people, if you would treat your friends, if you would say to your friends what you say to yourself, you would have no friends. And then people start to laugh. But this is what we do to ourselves. And this decreases the energy and the vibration of the water molecules in our body. And when we then go and have a shower, that water, I mean, it's not neutral because it goes through the pipe system. It contains stuff that the water company put in to make it clean. It has that memory as well, but it doesn't have our thoughts. It doesn't have our negative vibration. It doesn't have all that. So when you go and shower, you cleanse, and the water molecules in your body start to vibrate the same vibration as the shower. Only then afterwards we start to drink the coffee, for example, and it already starts to decrease.
Right.
It's that makes people believe they feel better. And we start to work and we start to do things that we don't like, but we have to, because we have to do a lot. So the effect of the showers very soon disappears. Yeah.
So would you say the people that like baths, was that kind of the same thing or different?
Yeah, and especially if you put salt in it. I'm now close to the ocean in Portugal. I'm traveling. I'm a digital nomad. I need to live near water. And salt has a very beautiful capacity. It is able to go through your skin, but also through the cell membranes. So it has a very cleansing effect. So yes, it's very good to, but then take the right salt. Take sea salt. You don't need any of the nice smelling salts because there's a lot of perfume and stuff in it. Just Himalaya salt or sea salt and throw it in your bath, and that pulls negativity and dirt out of your body.
Would you say that's actually better than like the Epsom salts that a lot of people use?
I wouldn't know. I need to look into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
But I would say, I mean, I have heard of Epsom salt, but why not use nature? Because everything we need is in nature, and sea salt is nature.
Yeah, 100%. Now, you've used the term coherence. Maybe you can explain to people who aren't sure, what is coherence?
Yeah. Beautiful. Coherence is a state that everything in the universe and in nature is striving for. And coherence means that all your molecules will vibrate in exactly the same frequency. So a non-coherent body, the molecules are going everywhere and they have different vibrations and one of them is going that way, the other way is going that way. In a coherent state, they all resonate the same, they all vibrate the same, they all face the same direction. And that is coherence. And that is what everything in nature is constantly striving for. So the water molecules in our body do too. And the water I energize, that is coherent water.
Okay.
And therefore, when you enter the water and that I energize, your water molecules start to become coherent. And when that's the original state it's supposed to be, but it hardly ever is. And in that state, you are who you are supposed to be, and not all the thoughts and all the identities and all the perceptions that you have, and all the shoulds and musts and whatever. And from that state, you can see different things and decide different things and discover different things, get different ideas, get downloads, because you are connected in a coherent state.
Nice. Yeah, and that makes sense because otherwise they just would basically be fighting each other, which I would think would leave you kind of in disease, however you want to call it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. When a body has a disease, it's not in a coherent state. Can't be. No.
Yeah. Why are you so passionate about water?
Well, because I think we hugely underestimate water. for me, water, it was a business model because I had my whitewater kayaking business and climbing and canyoning and rafting. So it was a means of making money, but it was also for me a means of being in nature. Um, I always loved being in the water. Um, but now I became aware that it is so much more. And the way we treat water in the world, yes, it's not, if you know that it's a living being, and
Yeah.
if you know that it's far more superior than you are, anybody who's watching, you might want to treat it with a little bit more respect and not pollute it and don't throw stuff away. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about your retreats. When you do, because you've mentioned like hot springs or hot tubs, but you also mentioned ocean. So when you do the retreats, is what you do in warm water and in cold water the same, or are those different?
Well, in Bali, we don't have cold water.
Okay.
So the pool is 35 degrees Celsius, and we need that because a water healing session is from half an hour to an hour. And I don't want the body to start getting a sensation of, it's getting uncomfortable. So it needs to stay warm because otherwise that's a distraction and people go in the mind. We also go to a waterfall. It was in the beginning of the ad where this lady was, and the water is crushing down on your head. It's not possible to think because it's such an immense force. And we do a healing meditation in that water that's colder. We also go to the ocean. We go snorkeling. And the last time, and it was the first time I was there this last winter in March, we also together as a group collectively, we hold hands and we gave energy, and fish came swimming in that circle. So, and that was beautiful because then the clients could see that this is not just a story that she made up.
And they can see
It's
what you experienced. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So what we do is every morning before breakfast, we have a water healing session. Every morning is different topics, but we always connect with the water. At some point, we connect with our body, with our sensuality. We work on you, on your goals, whether that's your business, whether you're a manager and a leader for your team, whether you want to work on your life, you want to make changes, and anything. We have massage to get rid of all the toxins after your flight. We have Ayurvedic food. Reiki massage. It's an immersive experience. It's your whole body and your brain and everything will be turned upside down. And to make sure that is not just a one-time experience, because you're in a safe container. It's 5 days. I also create a group afterwards for 2 months so that we can keep this energy going. I can send them energy through space. I know what's going on in their lives when they get back home. So because that's where it becomes important to remain and stay in that energy, and that's where the distractions are, and probably where the polarity starts coming back. And it's difficult to feel peaceful if you're surrounded with people that are not having the best interest in you. So yeah, it's a 3-month container, but the retreat is the kickstart. And after that, I make sure that we keep the space, and we keep the space alive with mastermind sessions, with a group, a community chat. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very important that you do that, because I've even seen that with business conferences. You're so excited and you get all hyped up for the conference, and you get home. It might last for a day or two, and then all of a sudden you just feel like you went whoop, right down,
Yep.
and it's
Yeah,
hard to kind of keep that going.
yeah, and that is exactly why I added it. I mean, I've done a lot of these seminars because after I sold my kayaking business, I wanted to become a business coach, and I was thinking, well, what do I know about business? I built a business in 22 years. This is what we say to ourselves. We can never see how good we are, and how brilliant we are, and how fantastic we are. But anyway, so I took some of these seminars, and I'm a sports athlete. I competed on world level with whitewater kayaking, so I do have the mentality to proceed and to go after these seminars. But even for me, because it wasn't a matter of not being disciplined enough, but it's finding the time, and then it's a bit uncomfortable, it's a bit out of your comfort zone, and then it's easier to let life take over. It's not that it's just a matter of not being disciplined enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you, because I am sure there's a lot of people out there that would love to experience that and go through that transformation that you create. But what if they're either afraid of the water or they can't swim? Have you ever had clients in that state, or how does that work for them?
Yeah, I've had that question before. In the pool, in the pool, there's various levels, so you don't need to be able to swim. Now, I am a swimming teacher. We have a floating device, so it would be amazing if if people are afraid of water, something has happened in the past, and they keep carrying that with them. It's an experience that apparently determines how they perceive water, but it's not truth. It just was once. So I would love to challenge them to come and join and see how we can get over, because that would be a massive breakthrough. And like I said, I am a swimming teacher, so I know how to make people feel safe in water. In the ocean, we have floating devices and we stay together. We can swim hand in hand. Some people find it scary when there's no soil underneath, when they can't. And that's a control mechanism. And everything that I'm about is letting go of your mind. And the mind wants to keep control through thoughts, through patterns. So it would be very good to challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone, because only that is where the big learning and the big massive jumps and evolution of growth is. To challenge yourself and to trust, have faith in the process, in you, in yourself, in me.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to face your fears. I know for one, because I've
Always.
always been fascinated and
Fears are
loved
never true.
dolphins. But yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I've always loved dolphins, but I didn't necessarily like the think of slimy fish. I was afraid they would be like all slimy. And it wasn't until I went to Atlantis and my mom's like, well, we already did a shallow. If we're doing this, we're doing deep water. I'm like, okay, time to do it. And I said, okay, let's go. And I just sucked it up. I did it. And oh my gosh, I would do that over and over again. They're like a soft leather coat. It was such a beautiful experience. And I was so glad that I just said, you know what? Other people do this. I can too. And yeah,
I
when
love
you can
that.
face your fears, I mean, that there's a lot of doors, a lot of things opened up for you when you can do that.
Yeah. A fear is never a truth, but it creates your reality. It is just a thought. It's an experience that created an emotion, and therefore you have a perception about a situation, and that creates anxiety, and fear is either from something that happened in the past, or something that you're uncertain about that is going to come. But in the now, it's never there. It's there or there, but not here.
Not here. Yeah.
So if you can stay here and move from here forward to the next second, to the next second. So there is no fear.
Yeah, I
Fear
love
is the
that.
biggest constructs that keep people trapped. And and I don't want to offend anybody here, because
No.
I know how real it feels for you, but it's not. And you have a lot of validation because something horrible happened, or I understand that. That's not to debate, but it should not determine the rest of your life.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But sometimes, and you have to have the right people and the right support around you to help you
Yeah,
get through that. So I'm
yeah.
glad we have people like you and others that can help support people in that way. What are your future plans for water?
Learn to speak the language of resonance, so I can communicate with water directly and not through freezing patterns. Also learning to water bend, to being able to move water like you see in fantasy movies. It is possible. Yeah, it is possible. But I want to take so many people with me in the water and heal them, and make sure they're, because when you heal, your body rejuvenates, aging stops. I'm turning 60 in 3 months' time.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
I'm
don't look at, and you
super
don't look,
healthy.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
super healthy. So I really wish that for all people, and that is what water can do. Yeah, it can
Nice.
make that change.
So you have a YouTube channel, right? So
Mhm.
some of the stuff that you've talked about or your experiences or what you've done with the water, is that also on your YouTube channel?
Yes, yes. I'm launching new videos every week, 2, 3 videos every week. I try to record them near the water. I've been recording like 8 videos this week near the ocean. Past week I was near a river. I recorded a lot of videos there. And yeah, I get the inspiration through a quote or something. And then all of a sudden I'm going to create one video, and then, oh, there's more content, so I'm really connected when I'm near the water, and it's just coming download after download. And yeah, I create content like it's fun and it's play, and yeah.
Yeah. I've already subscribed. I just carve out
Oh,
some
thank
time
you.
where I can sit and watch, because I've watched some of your water and it just looks so peaceful. I've always just felt at peace with the water, even if it's just floating on a boat or floating in the water.
Yeah,
Everybody used to refer to me as a fish, because if there was a pool around, I wanted to be in it.
yeah,
Never knew
yeah.
why. I just knew I was always attracted to the water.
Yeah, beautiful. And because I now speak about water, so much more people become aware of that. And so you also have a special, the water has been calling you. I
Yeah.
spoke to a lady this morning, and she said, oh, I went to Portugal 2 weeks ago and I had to go into the ocean. I said, of course. Uh, it it's that pull. Water is pulling us. But a lot of people resist it because of
I prefer,
fear,
if it
or
comes to the ocean, I prefer water I can see through to the bottom, but it's still.
but that's your truth that you
Mhm.
created.
Yeah,
It's not
you're
my
right.
truth.
Nope.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And well, okay, it's okay, but I will always like to challenge people, like, hey, but do you want it to be that way always, or are you open to change?
Yeah. Open to change, open mind is definitely makes a huge difference.
Hmm.
Yeah. Tineke, we got a few minutes left. Did you have a free giveaway, I think, that you wanted to offer
Yes,
the audience?
yes, because we haven't even talked about that you can energize your own water. And water has, in nature, it gets life force energy through sunshine. Everything gets life force energy through sunshine, everything we eat from nature, but water also. It also gets energy through the bends it makes, and it gets energy through current. Um, Now you can't add all of that to your water. Well, you can. You can shake your bottle. Drink from a glass bottle, if possible, not from a plastic bottle. And I have a free giveaway where I teach you how to put life force energy back into your tap water if you drink tap water. But if you drink bottled water, there's no life force energy in it either. If you drink tap, well, yeah, I can tell a lot. I speak a lot about tap water, but there's a lot of tips after you downloaded the PDF. I'll keep sending you videos with more tips on how to energize your drinking water. And the more life force energy the water has, the better it is for your body and for the water molecules in your body.
Nice. Does that work even if you have a purified system on it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Good. I will look forward to checking them out.
It's fun, and it's so easy to do. And you can use that water also for watering your plants, and you'll start seeing a difference. You can use it to wash your vegetables. You can even put it in your bath. It's it's really easy.
That is wonderful.
But I'm not going to explain. You have to download the PDF.
No, we'll have you make sure the audience contacts you and they can download the PDF and check it out and connect with you if they have questions. We have 2 minutes left. What would you like to leave the audience with today?
Well, I hope you start to understand and start to realize how valuable your body is because of fact that it is water, and how much you are connected with everything and anything around you, and that this is through water, and that you can reconnect with the water, that you can tap into the knowledge and the wisdom of water, and that makes life really so much easier. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Tineke, I am so happy that you were able to join us today and share all of this information with us. It's been wonderful. I've learned a lot. I'm hoping everyone watching has learned a lot, and I would definitely suggest that they connect with you to learn more, because you're obviously very knowledgeable, very connected to it, and I love that. And you can tell you enjoy what you do. I love when people enjoy what they do, because you just light up, and yes, you can see the difference it makes in you.
Thank you so much. Really, beautiful that you say that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel it.
So thank you so much.
But I see it in you too. When you talk about your water stories, you light up as well. So
yeah. I was to say, it's helped bring a lot of things in perspective for me. It's just never really thought about why. I just knew certain things I was connected to, but just never really understood why. So thank you for.
And I love that I've been able to bring that, and also to your audience, because we all feel it, but we're not aware. And I help you become aware, and I love being able to do that. So thank you so much for having me in your show and sharing your platform with me. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I look forward to being part of one of those retreats here sometime
soon.
Yes. Because I know you'll always be having them. I will find one.
Beautiful. So. Check out my website, and then we have a chat, we have a call, and see if it fits for you.
Yep, we will do that. And that QR code is right there. So definitely hit the QR code. You'll see about her programs and a whole lot more. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.